want to show you how to add a bit of a bounce to your sampling techniques, but also highlight why Tracklib has got me canceling my other sample subscriptions. Let's dive into it. So if you're part of our lovely Discord community, you may have seen me kind of ranting about other sample sites that just seem a bit stale in the packs that they're releasing. I've known about Tracklib for a while and always loved the idea of sampling the greats like Isaac Hayes and Billie Holiday, but I hadn't dipped my toe in as I was worried about sample clearance fees, which they've now, by the way, dropped when you subscribe. And just recently, some of you have been bringing to my attention that Tracklib now have a growing collection of royalty-free samples as well. And that's what I want to explore today in this video. And if you're already well versed on the world of Tracklib, I want to drop some techniques your way that you should try when sampling too, to give you that extra bounce straight out of the box. Let's do it. Okay, so over at the Tracklib site, once you're signed in and signed up, you can head to sounds. They've got this little new sounds tab here and all sounds over on the left. We can filter by instrument, the key, BPM, whether it's a one shot or loop. That's all looking quite familiar. I'm going to look at the tags and choose something melodic to start off. Let's see what we got. I'm going to hit download on this one, and that takes it up to my downloads. I think I'll set a folder so that this is easier in future. What I like to do is go Shift-Command-T. Let's make these the same color, and then drag that into a MIDI lane. And then I get a simpler instrument. I can slice this up. Let's go to beats and maybe the quarter note division. And now we get a sample that sounds like this. If you want to create a little bit of bounce, it takes a little bit of practice, but turn off your metronome and try to sample the beat evenly just before that next sample kicks in. So you're aiming for where my cursor is here, then where my cursor is here, then where my cursor is there. That way you're getting the first two beats, but you're kind of adding a push feel to it. The difference should be something from this to something that sounds like this. So the beat isn't any faster. I haven't sped the sample up. You're just chopping it off early. We're going to record that in without the metronome, and then we're going to do something to give it an extra bounce. So from here, I'm going to freeze and flatten that track, and there's my sample. I'm going to get rid of that dead air at the very beginning and drag it back to the beginning of the track. Because you're chopping off so many of the next sample to be played, you end up with this shorter clip. So what we can do is just shift and drag that out to the end of the bar line. We can help out this sample by setting it to the complex warp mode, quantizing our grid once again. So Command A and then choosing quarter notes. Sounding really tasty. I'm just going to change that last one there. Lovely. And now it's on to the drums. I'm going to go back to all sounds. I'm going to choose loops and I'm going to select drums because I want to show you how you can save your credits a little bit. Of course, you can download one shots, but what I like to do is try to find drum loops that have fairly isolated hi-hats and stuff with inside them. And that way you can kind of save on a few credits and just use the loop and chop that up. I want to go for something kind of trappy. Perfect. I'm gonna hit download it and as per, drag this into the project. So our one shot sounds like this, but if we slice that, we don't want to play that in the same way. We don't want to play, we want to do. That's kind of like a swung groove. We want to match that with the sample above. That's not too bad. And then what we're going to do is pretty much leave that unquantized. We want to make sure that the kicks are quantized on the downbeat, but apart from that, you're pretty much good. Let's see if we can find an 808. So we're going to go to instrument, bass. Let's keep this on one shot. And from tags, I'm also going to select 808. And if we scroll up through here, we've got some different kind of drill 808s. I want to go for something like this, quite long. So we've got our Mantiquilla 808. It's already pitched to C, which is really helpful. And I've just added both my Better Help and Punch plugins just to give it a little bit more oomph. They're available at the Patreon. I want to trim this sample a little bit and give it a little bit of decay so it's really quick. Actually, and before we record this 808, I'm actually going to pitch down this main sample. Let's see what it sounds like a few semitones lower. All right. So now I think we're down here on C sharp, and let's record something in here. Nice and simple. We're going to quantize that, and we're going to make sure that our F sharp lands with our skippy bouncy groove. Sounds pretty good. Let's drag these back a little bit. Let's see if we can find a one-shot sound for like a keys, strings thing to fit our kind of weird Dreamville Wu-Tang vibe. So what I'm going to do is go one-shots, instruments, and let's go strings and see what comes up. Oh, obviously we had that. It's not really a one-shot though. What else we got? Just going at random. So this we might need the tuner for just to see where it sits on the keys. See how it's got a little bit of a bend, but it finishes at A sharp. Well, first of all, we want to pitch that up to C. And then I'm going to use the cent position so that it kind of sits a little bit closer to C when we hit it. So let's pull that down. 7 to 14 cents is going to sound pretty close, just to slightly detune. I'm also going to add my Better Help and Valhalla Supermassive here. Supermassive is absolutely free. That's nice. Let's try that one more time. Nice. And then finally, I think just maybe a little bit of noise. Let's see if we've got that over at Tracklib. Let's go effects. We want to pull this into like kind of the lo-fi vinyl feel. So we're going to go loops, effects, and we'll just kind of find some noise here. Oh, perfect. This is some rainfall, but we'll download that. I kind of scrolled a little bit too far and found that. But rainfall, you can always turn it into noise. So again, I'm going to grab that sample. I'm just going to pull it onto a track this time rather than sampling it. You want to double click, make sure it's unwarped because otherwise it'll sound a bit weird. Up the gain of that a little bit. And then just kind of EQ that noise to give you that kind of vinyl feel that you want. That sounds great. Dude, I think I'm converted. I loved going through these sounds, and I'm looking forward to diving in a little bit deeper into the Tracklib site too. What were your thoughts? Have you taken the plunge yet? What are you currently using? Let me know all the things down below in the comments section. It's always a pleasure to sit down with you. I have another podcast episode, I think, dropping this week, the end of this week, so do watch out for that. And we still have our Thursday content to come as normal as well. So you're getting like triple me this week. That's either good news or bad news. Thank you as always for stopping by, and I'll catch you soon.